Can we have a moment of silence for Chevy Bolt in Europe? I know for those of you who live in Europe, actually, doesn't really come as a surprise, but let me just catch everybody who is, outside of Europe, in the United States, Australia, and so forth, that maybe are not up to speed with this. So Chevy Bolt has been pretty popular over the year or so it was making, not in sales, because Model 3 literally just outsold it in the first month of production and sales for, non-Tesla employees. But Chevy Bolt, nevertheless, has been growing in sales because, Nissan Leaf, the previous generation, was kind of falling, so it was taking its place. But at the same time, in Europe, Chevy Bolt was being sold as Opel Ampera-E, which is this. As you can see, it looks pretty much exactly the same. You can't even notice, but it's Opel's logo on the front. Now, as they were launching this car in Europe, they sold the Opel operations to a French company that took over, and after that they kind of had a little breakup. I mean, really wasn't really sure what it was, but Chevy kind of refused supplying enough parts, and then the cars that were already made and ready to be sold in Europe, there was a price hike, and a lot of people were upset that it's not really the cheapest electric car out there, and then they were hiking prices by $2,500 and $5,000 so people were upset. It just wasn't a good situation, but little by little they were just kind of started to the sales just never went up. There wasn't enough parts, and people kind of even forgot that Opel Ampera-E was even a thing. But this week, they just called it. So basically, Opel announced that they're going to, instead of going and waiting for GM or resolving this type of situation, they're going to go with their Opel Corsa, the car that you see right here, pretty much very similar size, very similar dimensions. They're going to make it an electric version. And therefore, that's going to replace their projected sales, or sales that we're hoping to do with the European version of Chevy Bolt. So it is, I know this is not like, this story has been developing for a while, actually, since last summer, and it's very weird, I have to say. Chevy Bolt, it looks like Chevy put a lot of effort into the battery technology, into, selling the Chevy Bolt here in the United States. But as you know, they didn't do anything about the fast charging network anywhere, really. I believe GM is not even an investor in any of the fast charging European networks, and definitely not here. They don't have one of their own. They don't have any plans. And then it was very, very odd that they've decided to kind of, ignore really Europe, where that would be like, this is a great European car, and you guys who are watching, in Europe, let me know, am I wrong that a little hatchback, small dimensions, pretty large range of 238 miles, that would be a perfect car for Europe? Let me know. So that's basically the story. It's kind of official. They're moving on, and I hope we're all looking forward to this little number to be made in electric and hopefully have a good range. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about like Chevy Bolt and Chevy just not pushing Bolt in Europe, regardless of how much success they were predicting with just overall electric platform that they were rolling out a couple of years ago. Gabrielle in the chat room says, I think Opel Corsa is small. I mean, it's a little small. It's a little smaller, but I mean, it's within the same size category. That's what I meant to say. Oka in the chat room says, not a good car. Are you talking about the Chevy Bolt or the Corsa? Now, hopefully, if you're talking about Corsa, it will be better if it's going to be electric. Obviously, it's closer to maybe Renault Zoe. DRK in the chat room says, she says, GM is once again showing their true colors. No surprise from me. It would have sold well in Europe, but now someone else will get those sales. That's true, and that's fine. That's what capitalism and free enterprise is all about. So I'm all for it. If they don't want it, let someone else take over and hopefully do a better job. Oka was talking about Opel Corsa. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's going to be the next generation, so we don't even know if they're going to change the body shape. Derek asked me if I have a Twitter account. Yes, I do. Everywhere on social media, you can find me under E4Electric. All right, guys, let me remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Evanex. the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. And if you're looking to shop there, just like I do once in a while, there's a in the description of this video down there, there is a discount code, so you guys can save a few bucks. That they gave it to us just for our community. All right, let's move on to another interesting story. So Ontario province have their own police department, obviously, and they have been teasing the pictures like they're a car manufacturer of the Model X becoming one of the only really an electric cruiser, the car that they looks like they're going to be putting in service. Here's their account, the Twitter account, which I retweeted, by the way, and here's another video of what it's going to look like. Now we've seen Tesla Model S, and I think we'll even Model X being purchased by different departments in around the country, and a lot of times it was for the show. In this case, it looks like they might be using it because, don't forget, the range is almost 300 miles, a realistic range. It is very fast. You can save a lot of money in gas, and there are some good incentives in Canada that you can get, especially if you're part of the government anyway. So it's definitely an interesting choice. But the fact that they are teasing it and they're going to be presenting this, unveiling this at the Canadian International Car Show that is just about to happen, I believe, any day now. So that is, and again, I'm sure it will make a great cop car, but I think the reason I wanted to feature the story is because, well, this is a great, this is a great showcase of how electric cars and Tesla in particular have been doing out there. They are just outperforming gas cars. And, when police departments decide that, hey, we want to chase bad guys in cars that are better than theirs, and we're going to pick a Tesla, an electric car, I think that just sends a message overall for the entire brand of Tesla, for the entire brand of electric cars, if you will. So this is pretty exciting. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it. Well, we kind of know what it looks like. They also have a video posted, so check it out. The Ontario Province Police on Twitter. Again, I retweeted it on my account. You can check it out from there. Let's see. Rashim in the chat room says, from what I've read and heard, the Ampera-E was a hit in Europe. Yeah, it would have been. It would definitely have been. I mean, they haven't sold too many, but definitely something that they would have probably done well, just like I said earlier. So you're right. And yes, Tesla P85D says it's the same price as a Model 3, just no supercharger. Listen, it all comes down to the superchargers that nobody else has. Let's see. Let's move on to another story. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. That usually makes it do much better. And by the way, another reminder that if you're looking into maybe possibly having an experience in a Tesla semi-truck, and somehow I completely lost my video for that. But anyway, go ahead in the description of this video, check out the link, my referral code for Tesla, give them their email address so you sign up for their newsletter, and both of us are going to be entered into a drawing to possibly win an experience of riding around in the Tesla semi-truck. All right, my next story is about Tesla as well, and happy 300th car, Tesla. As you know, so we didn't really know officially when they were going to cost 300,000 because they were very close, but they just reported their sales for Q4, and after that we don't know exactly what the sales are like until the next quarter. The earnings call is reported, but because they're in the middle of final stages of voting on that big 10-year package for Elon Musk, they were reviewing all the milestones he hit in the last performance package that he had. I believe they had 10. He only didn't hit one of them, which was, I think, was like 30% of margin, but the rest of them we did, including producing, I believe, and I don't know if it was a milestone. I don't want to tell you something that I might have misunderstood, but either way, in that letter, as they were kind of preparing and analyzing what happened, they acknowledged making their 300th car. So congratulations. As we know, Tesla has not sold the most of electric cars in the world. That title still belongs to Nissan, because Nissan Leaf has been sold over 300,000 miles. They celebrated that milestone last month. But very soon, Tesla will definitely bypass Nissan as a company, but will not pass a Nissan Leaf as a model, as just one car for a while. Definitely for a while. But nevertheless, really good milestone. And again, Yes, Derek in the chat room asks if 300,000 worldwide. Absolutely. They have not sold even 200,000 in the United States. Obviously, then we would have the tax credits phasing out. So we're not there yet. We're thinking about June, July, most likely July, right? That makes sense. But yes, worldwide, their sales are very strong, and Europe and definitely very, very strong. So that's where a lot of cars are being sold over there. Do we know the current wait list for the Tesla Model X or X for a non-owner right now? Asks Derek. I believe that doesn't even matter if you're oh, are you asking for the Model 3? No, you're asking for Tesla Model X. Okay, that doesn't really matter if you're an owner of a Tesla already. It's just a matter of you placing the order and then making the car. I don't think it's that long. I think it's just a matter of maybe 2 weeks lead plus the 4 weeks to make the car. So it could be, you know, month and a half, 2 months, but you might want to check with them nevertheless, because a lot of people are buying the Model S instead of the Model 3. So definitely check it out. Someone was asking if the stream is offline. To me, it looks good. You guys let me know if you can still see the feed. But meanwhile, I'm going to move on to the comment of the day. That's so big, I have to kind of put it on the screen all over the place. I know that's not the best graphics design work here, but we were talking about yesterday at the, about Faraday Future that may not be done yet. They got a pretty big injection in cash from an anonymous investor, but Kevin's comment kind of incorporates a lot of your comments, and I'm not going to read it because he just makes 3 points. First of all, and I think this goes for Lucid Motors as well, is because, you know, from the time that Faraday Future unveiled their, you know, its car, you know, there are a lot of progress have been made. A lot of people caught up. Tesla also made a huge step forward. And they haven't updated their technology. At least they haven't announced it. So therefore, you know, even if they bring it to production in a couple of years, that's going to be kind of an outdated, non-impressive car. So that's point number one. Secondly, you said, you know, because of their CES screw up, I mean, they couldn't really. That was a disaster. If you haven't seen it, definitely see it. It failed on a auto park, and it was pretty embarrassing. But so they said, well, if they can't put up a good show, even how we're supposed to trust them that they can bring it to the production? It's a good point as well. But also, you know, the fact that by the time they're actually going to start, if everything works out for Faraday Future, right, or Lucid Motors, by the time they're producing the cars that are, you know, for the mass market, there's going to be another 4 to 5 years, and by then, you know, Tesla and other cars will step so much further away that they will be so very much behind, and then basically they believe that the window of opportunity have closed for companies like Faraday Future and Lucid Motors, which I'm starting to agree. I have to say, unless something happens with either one of these manufacturers, or unless they've made a major step in developing their technology, they might just be done, unfortunately. Yes, some of you guys saying that the stream is a little unstable. I know I've been having problems with this for the last 2 or 3 days. My apology. I've had technicians come out for 3 days in a row. There's literally a problem with the signal in the entire neighborhood, so they're fixing it on a bigger scale. They're promising that tomorrow or by Saturday the latest, so thank you for bearing with me with the stream. I'm not streaming on Facebook right now, just so you guys get all the bandwidth here, so I really appreciate it. All right, well, these are the news for today. I definitely hope to see you guys tomorrow at the same time at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully the stream will be of a better quality. I'm definitely still working on it. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.